Hi guys, welcome to Edie's Attic. My name is Jenny and I'm here with your weekly love energy reading. I am starting it off with a card that has been staring at me while I was sitting here setting up, and I just kept looking at it and it was on top of my deck and I just kept being pulled to it and pulled to it. So I feel like I am called to pull that one first. It is Divine is in My Soul. So a lot of you here are probably on a spiritual path. Some of you might be here to get some insight on your love lives, but a lot of us here are also on a divine journey, a spiritual journey, and we can connect with that divine part of ourselves. So while we are possibly listening in and tuning in to get some insight on our personal love lives, we're also very much invested in the spiritual aspects of it as well. We want to approach love from a very divine essence. We don't want to approach it from a very low, lustful place anymore. We want to be 100% spiritually led in our decisions and our involvements at this point of the journey. So Divine is in My Soul feels like it's a very good place to start with this reading. And I wanted to pull an excerpt from a book that I am almost about finishing up. It is called Bringers of the Dawn, Teachings from the Palladians, and it's written by Barbara Marciniak. It was written, I believe, in the 60s or 70s. It's an older book. I ended up picking this up about, I'd say, a good 14 years ago from an estate sale. Got it probably for $1 or $2. I picked up a lot of spiritual books from this place at the time, and I did cleanse them after I received them. And when I got this book, there was a message in it, a written handheld message in the book that was left for the person who ended up receiving it. And I'm not going to read to you exactly what the message says because to me it's kind of personal, but it was definitely something that was a part of, I feel like, my initiation phase when I really started seeing things differently, and my third eye started opening and I was able to start channeling. All this kind of happened simultaneously. It all happened at the same time, and this was a part of it. So when I opened this book up, it was about a year ago, and yeah, it's taken me about a whole year to read this book, but it's because I read it in steps. It's like every chapter teaches me something so valuable that it, like, I resonate with it. I sit and I internalize the information that I received, and I start applying it and paying attention to the points that it brings up in that chapter. So it wasn't like a straight through read for me. I really, really took my time with it, and I have no shame in that. At first I did because I was thinking, why is it taking me so long to read one book? Because there's so many other books I want to get to. But I understand now it was a process. It was really, really internalizing the information. So one of the last chapters that I read was 19 in this book, and the chapter is called Igniting the Eternal Flame. And what I'm about to read to you is going to have you questioning your perspective on twin flame relationships. And it has me looking at it in a little bit of a different light now, but connecting all the channeled messages that I've received thus far to this, and I'm starting to make sense of it. So what I wanted to read you is, you are incredibly whole beings, which you are beginning to realize. Allow yourself to blossom and come into this completeness. No one hinders you but yourself. If you allow this completion, there are vistas awaiting you that are beyond your imagination. You are discovering that you need your emotional body, and that you need both your femininity and your masculinity. You need all that you have been gifted with in order to survive and understand what is unfolding upon the planet. Please realize the severity of the times that you are living in. As we spend time with each of you, you in turn will be tested and then taken to teach many others when the time comes. And it says, through feeling, you can discover much more. For you are seeking to resolve something and make something whole within yourself. To show yourself how unwhole you are, you have created a situation of tremendous separation that appears to be outside of yourself. It looks as if your drama has to do with a powerful man against a powerful woman. Which one is going to be the victim? Or which one is going to be the victim? Who is right and who is wrong? What is this internal drama actually saying? What is this outside mirror that images what is going on inside of you? And the chapter, I'm not going to read the whole thing, even though I could. I might do a video that does that. But the chapter goes into speaking about us coming into complete wholeness with our femininity and our masculinity, that the twin flame process and idea is actually happening within ourselves, that we are both the masculine and the divine feminine, and that it's a merging of both parts to where there's a balance of the feminine qualities and the masculine qualities. Because they go into talking about how, for about 5,000 years, there was a shift that happened that put men very much in a lower their lower chakras, so their sacral chakra, and they closed off the feminine throat chakra and had us take a back seat, because there was lessons to be learned during those 5,000 years with the wars and with the power struggles and all that we have witnessed in history. And that we're now coming to a phase in our history in this world where the men are starting to come back and bringing in their femininity, which helps them with intuition and feeling and compassion and empathy. And women, over the last couple decades, have really stepped into their masculine roles, but they're saying that so much that they're becoming much like men, where they're losing that intuition and their empathy and the softness. So for women, it's the balance of allowing yourself to be soft and gentle and using your intuition, but also being able to support yourself, provide for yourself, stand up for yourself, and have motivation to put our ideas into fruition. And for men to feel comfortable and safe enough in this world to finally tap into their softer sides without being judged, so that they too can have intuition and empathy and create from the divine source. So it's a call of balance on both parts. Now, with a lot of the channeled messages that I have received, from my understanding, is up to this point has been that some of us have twin flames here in the physical, where maybe we are exuding the feminine aspects and our divine counterpart is carrying the masculine aspects, and that there will be a uniting of the two. And I also have come to understand that some of us don't even have one physically here on the planet. Some of them are in the 5D, and that a lot of us are, wondering, where is my counterpart? They may not even be physically present on the earth. So now I add a third part to that, where I'm understanding that many of us, especially light workers, people that are here with divine missions, are called to see that we are whole. We've always been whole. We've just been battling within ourselves, our divine masculine and feminine, that we carry the two together, that we are the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And there are people out there for us, soulmates, soul family, people that we have lived lifetimes with and been connected to for however far back you can imagine. So it may be a comfort to some to feel that within ourselves, like, you know what, I do feel whole. I do feel like I present both aspects. So perhaps this whole time I've been chasing a twin flame that was outside of myself, but it's been inside of myself this whole time. And that can be a reassurance and kind of like a relief, like, you know what? Oh, okay, well, and then you go back and you listen to readings and you start listening to both of the sides, the divine masculine and feminine, and you start saying to yourself, they both sound like me. And then some of us do have twin flames that are here in the physical. It's every single one of us has to listen to our soul and understand who we are and where we resonate. You know if you have one that's out there. If you are in tune with your body and you know how you feel, you know if it's within yourself, if they're here in the physical, or if they're in the 5D. Every single one of us is going to have to determine that for ourselves. So going forward with my readings from now on, when I'm doing the readings and the card pulls in regards to divine feminine, divine masculine, I'm reading it generally for all three groups. It's your job to decipher and determine which group you think that you're a part of and how to listen to it. Because if your person isn't even in the 3D and you feel like you do have a divine counterpart, but they're in the 5D, then you're going to listen to the reading from a different perspective, if you are picking up what I'm laying down. So let's pull some more cards. I am going to use today, I'm feeling led to using, starting with what's the vibe and going from there. And divine is telling me they want me to start pulling my... Let's actually take this to a part 2 for the card pull. We'll catch you in part 2.